A lot of Englishmen love football. They have their favourite teams and support them faithfully. Sometimes they have to go to great lengths to see them play.
Mr. Burley's office?
Yes?
Miss Wright?
Speaking.
It's Brian Trim here. Look, I'm not coming in today. I'm ill.
Ill, Mr. Trim?
That's right. I've got a bad cough.
I can hear that.
Yes, it's awful. Give Mr. Burley my message, will you?
Very well, Mr. Trim.
Thanks. Don't ring me. I'll ring you after them. I'll ring again later. Don't worry, Miss Wright, I shan't forget.
Goodbye, Mr. Trim.
All right, was it?
I think so.
Of course it was. What did you say?
I said I was ill. I said I'd got a bad cough.
Good. Who did you speak to?
I spoke to Mr. Burley's secretary. I told her to give Mr. Burley my message, and I told her not to ring me. I said I'd ring again later.
Well, don't look so worried, Brian. Here. Hey, well, Mr. Match. Come on, Brian. The Rovers need our support.
Would you sign this, please, Mr. Burley?
Certainly, Miss Wright. By the way, where's young Brian Trim?
Mr. Trim left a telephone message. He isn't coming in today.
What?
He said he was ill. He told me he had a bad cough.
A bad cough? But that's awful.
That's what Mr. Trim said. He said his cough was awful.
No, no, no. I meant it was awful for me.
Well, Mr. Trim told me not to worry. He said he'd ring again later. He said he wouldn't forget.
You don't understand. I have to go out. It's very important. Good heavens, I'm late already. Yes. Take a memo to young Brian. Tell him I want to see him in my office at 9:30 tomorrow morning.
It was a good match, wasn't it?
Yes. 5-0. Great.
Have you finished your tea?
What was that?
I asked whether you'd finished your tea.
Yes. Yes, of course. I'll pay the bill.
Newtown. What a hopeless lot. They can't play football.
Did you say something?
I said they couldn't play football.
Oh? Do you want your head knocked off?
I'm very sorry.
Keep quiet.
What's the matter? What did you do to that big fellow?
I said Newtown couldn't play football, and he asked me if I wanted my head knocked off.
Did he?
I said I was sorry, but he told me to keep quiet.
I wouldn't let people push me around. Why don't you be more aggressive? Stand up for yourself a bit more. Don't be so frightened. What's the matter now?
I ought to ring the office. I told Mr. Burley's secretary I would.
You're not frightened of your boss's secretary, are you?
Of course not. In fact, I told her not to worry.
They won't miss you just for one day. It's him again. The one who was pushing you in the cafe. You're not going to let him get away with it, are you? Remember what I said? You should be more aggressive.
Hey, you! You pushed me? Are you deaf? I said you pushed me. Do you want your head knocked off?
Mr. Burley. Brian Trim.
Here are some examples of reported speech.
I'm ill. I said I was ill. I've got a bad cough. I said I'd got a bad cough. I'll ring again later. I said I'd ring again later. Have you finished your tea? I asked whether you'd finished your tea. They can't play football. I said they couldn't play football. I'm ill.
He said he was ill.
I've got a bad cough.
He told me he'd got a bad cough.
I'll ring again later.
He said he would ring again later.
I shan't forget.
He said he wouldn't forget.
Do you want your head knocked off?
He asked me if I wanted my head knocked off. Give Mr. Burley my message. I told her to give Mr. Burley my message. Don't ring me. I told her not to ring me. Don't worry.
He told me not to worry.
Don't worry, Miss Wright. I told Miss Wright not to worry.
Brian Trim is about to tell the junior typist what Mr. Burley said to him.
Did you see Mr. Burley?
Did I see Mr. Burley? I most certainly did.
Well, come on, Brian, tell me. Was he angry?
Yes, but he didn't frighten me. I just told him what I thought of him. That's what I did. I told him what I thought of him.
Well, did you expect me to believe that story about a cough? Do you think I'm a fool?
Oh, no, Mr. Burley. I think you're a brilliant businessman. And an excellent employer, too.
And you're the perfect employee, I suppose. How long have you been with us?
I'm terribly sorry. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I said I couldn't remember how long I'd been with the company. I can't remember unimportant things like that.
Did you see that? You are brave.
Well, Mr. Burley thinks I'm the perfect employee. In fact, he said I was a fine fellow.
Did he really?
You're a fine fellow, aren't you? Stand up straight when I'm talking to you.
Yes, of course, Mr. Burley.
Really, Brian, I don't know what to say to you. You're lazy, you're never here on time, and you don't work properly when you are here. Well, what would you do in my place, eh?
Well, he admitted he didn't know what to say. Then he actually asked me what I would do in his place.
He practically offered you his job. He must think highly of you.
Oh, he does, he does.
Did you ask him what he was doing at the football match?
Oh, we discussed that subject, all right.
I suppose you're wondering what I was doing at that football match.
No, Mr. Burley.
I followed you there. I didn't believe that story about your cough.
Yes, Mr. Burley.
Yes, Mr. Burley. I'm worried about you, Brian.
Oh, don't be worried, Mr. Burley. I'll come in and work on Saturday. And the next Saturday. And the Saturday after that.
You won't have many more Saturdays with this company, Brian. I have to give you 4 weeks' notice. So I suppose you must stay till the end of the month.
He pleaded with me. He said I must stay till the end of the month.
What? You mean you're leaving?
Yes. I can't work for a man like Burley.
Go on, Brian. Go and see him. Give him another chance.
No, I've decided.
Here is the letter for Mr. Trim.
Letter?
Yes, to say he must leave at the end of the month.
Put it on my desk, will you? Oh, that's mine.
Yours, Mr. Burley?
Yes, I've just told you. It's mine.
I didn't know that you were a Barnsley Rovers supporter, Mr. Burley.
Well, you know now.
I'm a Barnsley supporter, too.
You, Miss Wright?
Yes, I've been one for years.
Well, that makes 3 of us. And strangely enough, I have 3 tickets for next Saturday's match. 1 for you, 1 for me, and give this to Brian Trim.
But you said Mr. Trim was leaving the firm.
No, I'm going to give him another chance. The firm can't...